Welcome back, everyone, to, of course, this beautiful, beautiful showing coming out here, presented to you from Order, the long-awaited return from the end of last year from the Valorant Invitational series, and now we are here today with the Nova Invitational. 6 teams are already through at the moment. They are Order, Wildcard, Mindfreak, Direwolves, Kanga, and of course Team Bliss already locked and loaded. And we are battling out here for the next 2 nights in the open qualifiers to see who's going to take those top 2 slots. I'm joined here with none other than Luther to SBS Mitchell. My name is Piers Potato Fries Evans. And yeah, are you excited for tonight, Luth?
Oh, you absolutely know it, Piers. I mean, for me personally, it's been a bit since I've been on the Valorant cast, of course, but if I'm going to come back to it, of course, I feel no better jumping onto it right here, right now, on the Order channel, of course. And speaking of Order, again, things kicked off for Valorant in OC, really, with the Order VIS tournament last year, of course. That's where things really started to heat up. We started seeing the storylines of some of the top rosters and things in the region where things were just kicking off there. And now starting off 2021, of course, a year on from the closed beta dropping, and now Valorant is less this new game that's just right around the corner and starting to become more established and more renowned as a fully fledged esport. Of course, It's only fitting that Order once again coming back in, going back to those roots, and here we are with the Nova Invitational. So really keen to see the banger matches that are going to come out of this tournament. And what better way to start than with this first round through the open qualifier?
Oh yeah, definitely indeed from those ones there. A 12k prize pool up for grabs at the end of it all. And to start these open qualifiers for round number 1 of this best of 1, we got ourselves tilted up against ShadowNet. It's going to be quite a matchup tonight. There's been all sorts of changes with different rosters and all sorts of those ones. At the moment now, we stand at approximately, I believe it was 27 teams at the moment. We're going to cut them down in half bit by bit. By the end of tonight, there will be the top 8 teams. And then, of course, they're going through for tomorrow. So we have 2 rounds for you for tonight, starting with none other than tilted up against ShadowNet here momentarily as we wait for those ones there. But otherwise, yeah, as a whole, generally going through, coming out from Valorant Oceania, seen as a general big scope, it has just been growing and growing from there exponentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is just trying to kick off its early roots from those ones there, and having these big tournaments definitely pulls in a lot of traction, as we can see.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it just feels like the community at large, with Valorant dropping, over this last year, has really rallied around this new game. It's a blend of like all these different things. It's got all the ability stuff that people love from hero shooters. It's got the tactical gunplay of things like CS and, games. It's kind of a really nice blend of like all these different things. So it's no wonder that we're seeing all these players from all around Oceania just coming in, stepping in, just trying their absolute best, going as hard as they possibly can to try and take the crown in this absolutely lovely game. And of course, it's really been quite something to see with teams, especially having international opportunities. We've seen recently with Sonics picking up the former EXO clan roster. We've seen, of course, locally still here, the Order team, who has been invited to come in this tournament, obviously.
Yeah, of course. They are definitely on top for those seeds from there. It is a little bit hard to try and go for those showings there. It is a bit weird and stuff for that one, but they definitely have those statistics for it. They also managed to qualify for the VCT, the Valorant Champions Tour, after beating out the Oceania one at the end of it all throughout the last stage coming out of that one from the Oceania Tour from Valorant. But, we are here for now for this Order Invitational, and I'm very keen to be seeing these teams try and battle it out bit by bit. Now, looking, of course, at these different teams from the lineups there, piece by piece, there's plenty of action for you tonight if you have an extra monitor on hand, of course. Ourselves, Finale versus Australia Zoo on Cthulhu's one. Bizarre Game versus Gangsters on, of course, Digital QF. Cozy Kuzan has August versus Cute Cactus Friends and Emperor ZK. Over Power Strike with Dylan's Esports. And lastly, Buzz Arena with Nebula versus Eclipse. So a lot of these ones on paper, we've seen a lot of different teams that try and battle it out now. At the moment, the one who managed to make it through for the finals as well for the next season of the Legends tour coming through there is none other than Overpower Strike. So they're definitely ones to be watching out for. And as well as Eshays and none other than Nebula, making a lot of those top 8 slots in Oceania, have a very, very dangerous lineups from those ones. So, and definitely big teams to be watching out for and making sure that you are getting keen for those ones there. But of course, we do have ourselves Tilted up against Sharonet as well. Tilted signed a few new players after AGG eventually had those rosters close and come to an end. So they grabbed a couple of those players, and Sharonet picked up an extra sub as well, ready to frag out for tonight.
Yeah, and I'm very keen to see how these new players go as well. I mean, we've seen a lot of hype around the ShadowNet roster, particularly a lot of, really strong fans there. I'm sure plenty of those in the chat as well. A lot of people rallying around this roster to try and make it through, sort of towards the not quite at the point where they're getting invited, but certainly at the point where they're keen to try and get invited to the next big tournament, if you know what I'm saying, where they're trying to prove themselves, they're trying to just get out here, frag out. There's a lot going for both of these teams going into this matchup here. Aside from the fact, the pressure of course, being on mainstream and it being the first round and everything, all the eyes on you, of course, as a player, that certainly can be, something to give you that bit of extra motivation, especially when you've got people, again, rallying behind you, as people have been doing with a lot of these rosters.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really going to be quite something where it's interesting to see just how, with all of these players going forward, going at it the hardest, how it'll come down to, those critical moments, those critical rounds, or if it will just go with that momentum building up for one team and just pushing through.
So the thing about a lot of these ones here, obviously there is a lot of teams to get through there. Now, best of ones can have a tiny sway of luck factor coming in towards those ones there. Best of threes, you can get a big gauge from those series of who is waiting for those ones there. But obviously, best of ones, they do cut them a lot closer, and it'll be quite high octane early on here, just making sure those teams get a lot of momentum from that one there. So I'm curious to see what their kind of picks will be looking like there. But we should be talking about what map we're playing on here first up from those vetoes, if you take us away with that one, Luther.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So we've had the vetoes take place already. So it started out with Tilted getting the first ban. They yeeted Icebox right out of there. Don't blame them.
Yeah,
and then ShadowNet returning back with a nice swift split ban. Tilted banning Haven, ShadowNet banning Bind, and that leaves us with Ascent, with ShadowNet starting on the defense side for that one. So that's our vetoes.
That is very classical from those ones there. Ascent is one of those ones that sort of came up first off there, and lots of teams have lots of practice throughout there. A lot of it comes down to those mid fights early on there. It's curious to see those ones kind of banning Icebox early on, because it's at the stage now where, obviously, where you came on back from Valorant Wise from Ignition Series and stuff, Icebox is actually a lot in the meta, mainly because people have been practicing a whole lot for it and had that time to actually format it as for those series for them. So a lot of people will pick those ones because they have very, very strong counter strats and definitely different ideas to make those ones work. You've seen lots of one-ways come out from those ones. For Vipers are actually a lot of the meta from that one, definitely, as well as different lockdown setups and slows from there. But, that's just up to those ones. And now we are here with, of course, Ascent, a very classical map, comes down to a lot of those mid-fights. So I'm probably thinking that we'll be seeing a lot of different intels. Usually one Sentinel comes down to either Cypher or Killjoy preference. Your Sova's definitely great, and your Omens are definitely strong from that one. So, but by the looks of it, I think we are locked and loaded for this first match here for tonight. Tilt up against ShadowNet on none other than Ascent. Let's get these vetoes under wrap. All right. So, as you can see there, ShadowNet on that defense, and of course, Tilted on the offense there. Having Fresh Legs Andy on for this one. The rest of the roster are very familiar. Andy, of course, coming in from AGG, and the super sub, as we're talking about from ShadowNet, RX7. Very sharp indeed. Already locked in here for ShadowNet is, of course, the Cypher with Shax, RX7 with the Jet, Calamari with the Sova, the Self-Heals, aka Reyna with Vesta, and Del Tero with the Omen. Over towards the other side there, as you can see, we'll get those ones just pretty much done, but by looks it was a Cypher, a Jet, a Sova, the Omen, and I think there was also the Selfers coming out there from the Phoenix. We'll double check those once we get in game, of course. A little kind of close, but yeah. So pretty much very classical lineups here. You don't really want to be risking anything risk with these new players. I think from memory I saw an Astra pick come out there. So she is the latest hero to be added to the pool there. She's got 5 smokes that can be placed anywhere on the map, pretty much in an instant, and activate whenever you please. There's a ton of cooldown as well. She has a couple of vortexes that can suck them in, and her ult can cut off an entire section of field of play. Like literally, it goes all the way straight to the skybox. You can't see a thing past the wall, and it is just brutal to try and get past. So we'll have to see how well they merge together with those ones there. Astra being quite a new pick. They're going for more of a classical setup for ShadowNet, but you know, a lot of this is going to come down to these mid fights and winning those early duels there. Once you get that one done, like a lot of it, they have to try and fight for the retake later on there. So I'm curious to see what those different plans are looking like, and as we load up into this one in game. And yeah, no, they're both classical lamps. They're mirror picks, of course. They hover the Astra, but not going to be rocking off that one there. A cheeky A play at the start, and looks like they're almost ready to burst out here. They're just waiting on that catwalk to be swinging it around.
Drone coming out here, trying to find some info early. Vesta gonna spot one. Knife gonna go down. Andy as well. Yakuza gonna follow. Now Ellie left. Gonna take a bit of damage, but not quite the kill. Actually gonna find one with the shot dart there. Del Toro goes down, but not gonna last much longer as Merzel gonna try and pick up pieces, but 4 players still left alive there on ShadowNet as they just swiftly shut down this A play from Tilted.
Well done. Winning that pistol, nice and quick there for ShadowNet. Holding on towards that one. That's no worries at all. Element tried, but obviously losing those early picks on is not ideal. There was fighting in the open. They didn't really try and fight for the retake. A lot of these maps, they're really hard to hold on for, especially on Ascent. Like B, you can lock it down pretty consistently. That's why they have the Cypher ready for that one, for the marker wrap, and of course the quick B main push. But A is a little bit hard. You're usually just trying to get a quick pick and then reposition off of it. If you don't find that, you have to rotate back and you have to just fight for the door and tree. But they do have the extra weaponry in here. They're just going to try and snake it all the way towards mark and see if they can't get a plant on B.
Slow push coming out here mid. Calamari going to be challenged here, not able to quite find one with the Spectre, as now the push is going to come out fast. Not going out from the camera. Jack's going to push through, going to find one, but traded off pretty easily. Spike getting dropped, though, is going to put a little bit of difficulty in it for Tilted, but these pistols just coming out, doing so much damage, and it's quite unexpected there. Vesta trying to do what he can, but it's not enough. Tilted just sweeping up, and the eco round turns into a round for them.
Oh man, they bring one back almost immediately and pretty much like reset ShadowNet from that one. They could try and play the force play game, go back and forward for God knows how many rounds, but obviously they're just not quite favoring it this time. They lost the eco, they lost their full guns, and that is just so unfortunate from there. Like, although those came down to those quick picks there, having the solo on B, Chax probably could have waited a tiny bit longer before he struck on that one to get some picks, but, you know, you sort of wait at the timing he got there eventually. No one was there really to help support him, so now they're stuck, of course. The shoes are on the other foot, and they are stuck with that eco, and they're just going to see if they can't get some picks of their own this time around, and by the looks of it, Tilted, guns in hand, they're just going to slow it down, you know, make sure they can fan out where they are playing and poised, and so they can get these easy, consistent frags together and get a quick plant.
Yeah, a bit of a default coming out here, Ellie. Just get the drone, gonna land the bolt. This location being given away just for a second, but no kill comes off it, no big swing, nothing like that. Instead, we're just seeing a slowed down push coming here from Tilted. So they're once again gearing up to go towards the B site. Camera up for Shax. Just checking it, just watching it. There'll be a lot for him to spot with it momentarily now. Eye coming out from Reyna as Andy's just going to push straight up with the jet dash. They're going to lock this site down with those smokes, and they're looking to just get that spike down as well.
Yeah, it's very clean from there. Quick plant, and they can just hold on here. No damage and no guns were taken away so far. And looks like they can't really go for this one. They might burst on last second, or they might just try and play the exit game, because they've already locked in towards CT and Market. And, oh no, that smoke, actually, they might just try and burst on here and see if they can't just get a quick gun of their own. But they know that they are definitely outgunned in this scenario, and they're just going to see if they can't get some guns of their own, lock them in towards site. But Yakuza's just trying to get them a way out so that they don't lose too much money here.
And you're going to spot one on RX-7. You're going to go for some more here. Yakuza finding one as well. Chak's at least able to trade one back. You get a little bit of damage. Del Toro going for it as well. But all the kills just going to go the way of Tilted now, as those pistols don't find the same damage that Tilted was able to find before.
Definitely not, but it is just a bit of luck factor from there. Now Tilted on the upper hand, the 2-1. Still early days, you know. Generally, the first 4 rounds don't have big impact. They're just a sort of score. They sort of stitch together after round 5 when you really get those full buys either side. And then from there, you know, you start getting momentum and so forth from there. But this is very bold coming out here from RX-7 with the op in hand. They're going all in for this round. And by the looks of it, they're just going to be playing the anti-eco for Tilted's side here. I don't know if they really should be getting the ops when they have those Spectres because they lose them. But it is their full buy round. And by the looks of it, they just want to save going through from there. So if he doesn't do a whole lot of damage to that op, it'll be very, very hard to be trying to save the one there. But it looks like he's creeping up a B main here. And he's just going it solo, making sure no one is lurking there. And just making sure that they are all the way towards A, exactly where they want them to be. So Sofa can rotate early. And then they can try and hold this push as best they can.
Yeah, Vesta just sitting backside here. Gets rid of the dart, but does get pinged once. RX-7 going to find that opener with the op and fall back off it from B. Now we're seeing the rotate come around as these players not quite going for that A main push. Instead, looking to just try and get this mid control. And it's going to be given up for free. Whether or not they push up, well, it looks like they're going to be pushing up into short here. Try and go for that mid to B. Spray through the wall, trying to come through Shax as he just jump spots over. But there comes the info play now. Door going to be burst down. So we're going to see first kill coming out. Mirza finding one onto Calamari. Shax with the info as well. These kills just going back and forth. RX-7 with another one. Shax getting that, and now it's back onto the 2-on-2. Still sitting back Cypher. This B is not clear. Investing in the prime position to find that Cypher. Now it's all down to LA.
He's crept past CT. 15 seconds left. Realize it, but he's cutting it in the red here. I just don't know what he can do.
Well, he can find that first kill, that's for sure. But he needs to clear out RX-7 with 4 seconds left. He has to find this kill right now. Is he going to clear the right time? He will! 2 seconds left, and LA is going to pick it up. 1v2. That's quite the play. Right down to the wire.
Oh, Element, that was beautiful. That was beautiful indeed. They should have not let that happen at all. RX-7, obviously he was just holding that boat. There's not much you can do with the op in hand from that angle, but it was just so unfortunate he missed that timing there. Because he was trying to play both angles, hold the 2v1, and he was waiting for the rotate. And of course, Vesta gets picked up, and then Element just has the one to find and manages to cut it back for the timing. Actually managed to hold on there for RX-7 and realized that they were doing the fake, but you know, it's not too bad. They lose 1 round. They do, of course, are stuck on an eco, and now they have an op ready locked and loaded for the next round from RX-7. And he seemed to actually make it work pretty well. Got himself a 2k, so it should be okay for the next couple rounds for them. But if they get some lucky picks here, they might be able to turn around quickly. It looks like Omen is ready to get one of his own.
Kuza just lurking around the corner here with his teammate. Just looking to try and get a spray through. Thought maybe he'd go for the push there, but not quite going to come out instead. Just playing passive mostly for ShadowNet, just trying to hold on. Just wait for the push to come through to them. And once again, the push is going to be coming over towards mid. Just see it, the cage down. Trying to block the cross off. Andy, meanwhile, coming over from main. Going to destroy the camera. But can't find a pick yet. Still 5-on-5, 40 seconds left, and here comes the Sova ult. Now just trying to fire blindly, try and find some damage, but nothing really going to come from that. And now here comes the push out. Andy Mirza finding 1 each. Yakuza as well. Calamari at least trades back with the Sheriff. Might be able to get that gun over there, but it does now. Vesta as well with a nice little shot, and now this is looking a little bit more scary for Tilted, but they've still got themselves some guns. Info coming out from Calamari as he uses that drone. Will he spot anything with it? We'll see something, but he does get the one tag, actually. Vesta tries going for that wallbang, doesn't connect. They're still inching closer towards this site, and speaking of wallbangs, there comes one on the Calamari the other way. Mirza as well. Gonna find that one to clean it up. It's Tilted take round number 4.
4-1. Still early days here across the board, but that was, of course, the eco buy. Almost managed to turn it around, but RX-7 missed that knife. He used too many for that mid spray when they wrapped up towards market and just couldn't quite make them connect. And of course, that nice warbang coming out there from Kevin onto another one just to lock them in a little bit more. So another full buy chance yet again here for ShadowNet. And hopefully I can try and make this one's work. I was going to talk about that. ShadowNet technically Evolution sort of era and Tilted were at the Legend sort of stage. So there is a little bit weird coming up from those ones. But having these fresh subs across the board will definitely try and make a big impact for them later on. And of course, they're going back to Classic B. They know exactly what works.
Fast play coming out here for B, a bit faster than we're used to seeing from Tilted. They've had some delayed pushes, but now they're just going straight forward. Trax at least is able to find one, but the man advantage going the way of Tilted as ShadowNet just left trying to reaggress, trying to find these frags back out. 4v3, and Moza is going to get the bomb plant down.
Yeah, it's a good teleport from Yakuza because they realized he was on site. He's now got an off angle for them. So if they don't find these entries on towards the opening of B, then they pretty much lost this round. But who knows how well they're going to be striking and how quickly.
Oh, that bolt does quite a fair bit, spotting out two players. Element, Yakuza going to find one each. Make that two for Yakuza. At least RX-7 was able to try and get a little bit of damage there, but Tilted not really being contested too strongly here as they're once again just able to get the site execute out. Just push all the way through. Get that plant, hold the post plant. Just checking off all the boxes in the list, really, of how to win a round.
Yeah, very, very methodical from those ones. They're 5-1 now, 4 rounds ahead, and ShadowNet losing a fair bit of momentum early on in this series here. This Ascent is actually defense favored. Usually see a fair few 7-5s, 8-4s, and they'll try and bring them back on offense. But the mirror picks is mainly going to come down to how well they'll be playing for these early rounds here, and who's going to be winning each sort of half on paper. But looks of it, Tilted only have 2 rounds to go, and then they'll win this first half. But unless if ShadowNet can try and bring some back. Oh, fantastic creep up from Vesta. Doesn't get the invulnerability, but it doesn't matter. 2 quick picks. Zandy's finds a trade.
Really nice transfer there, just being able to get back, but still find that second frag. Definitely could have been a trade there, but it wasn't allowed. And now they're going to find that one onto Del Toro. Plant going to go down over on A, but still a 3-on-3. ShadowNet. Maybe they can break the post plants for Tilted, but I don't know. They've had some pretty strong post plants so far. So
yeah, and they definitely have the weaponry for this one as well, and the armor to back it up. So it's really going to come down to a lot of shots. I think they're just trying to play exits and make sure they can't leave the site here. Oh, there we go. Quick trade.
There. Yeah, the trade coming through. Now that spike ticking down. Calamari going to try and get out, though. Still on that Sheriff, but it's not going to do any damage. Element going to find that one. And Andy playing the crossfire. Going to be able to find the nice spray onto Vesta. And Tilted's just taking this and running with it so far. ShadowNet looking a little bit troubled here as they're not quite able to pick up some of these rounds. But Tilted, they're looking in really good form so far.
Yeah, so they won that early pistol on there. And of course, the 6 in a row coming back from Tilted is a little bit of an upset there. They really need to try and get some rounds and quickly just to try and scare them a fair bit. But they have to get at least 4 rounds in this half to have a chance into the second. I don't know if they're going to be trying to win it here, but that full buy could be proving useful. They just have to predict them again. But so far, they've been doing pretty well with gamble stacking on the sites of where they're going to be pushing, but they're just not quite holding on there. They really don't need to be holding on towards site. They can try and play the retake. So I don't know why they are trying to fight as hard as they can, but who knows, it might actually work out. And look at that, Shax with the quick pick, and one more from the ulti from Calamari as well. Could be turning around.
Now we're starting to see the hold come through as those quick pushes finally getting punished. RX-7 tries to go for the shot there, but doesn't quite connect it. Still the push coming out the blind. Going to slow it, even just for a second, but never going to find that one onto Shax. Trade goes back, but still leaves us now in this 2v2. Bit of info being found, but Spike not going down just yet. Instead, trying to go for these picks. Just try and get these kills now, finally. Actually, no, not going to go for that plan. Instead, just waiting and holding on. They trying to bait the rotate here? If they are not quite working, is they're going to be going back around towards the defender spawn.
Spike planted.
And now the Spike finally makes his way to the site.
These are great post-plant angles, usually off angles here, and Kevin is ready to trade for Yakuza, so The question's going to be whether or not they can actually find them. And oh, the teleport from Delterra. No, he didn't lock it in. Oh, he just wanted the intel. They know they're somewhere close and they might be able to catch him off here. And look at that. They're still with one.
That's absolutely huge, but the info there, they're going to find that one onto Vesta and going to turn it around. Delterra caught out on the site. Absolutely huge sharp shooting coming out, and once again Tilted, even where it looked the most dire for them in this round, still just going to manage to turn it all the way around and find themselves number 7.
Oh man, a 4K from Kevin. He is absolutely mopping up here for them. They're still holding on strong for Sharonet, but they're just not quite making them work together. Like, there's been at least 3 different 1v1s where it's come down to where they've just not managed to turn those rounds for them. Stuck on another eco yet again, and I don't know how long they're going to keep this one going, but eventually they're just going to have to start force buying to try and get these rounds before it slips away too quickly. But here we go, back towards A, and pressure's on for RX-7 to find at least 2 kills.
RX-7 with the ult out, going to be dashing up in the air, not going to connect anymore though. Bold play, but it doesn't quite work out. Now ShadowNet still left with 3 alive. That spike down does pose a bit of a challenge for them too, and they don't exactly have the strongest guns to go for this, but hey, damage is damage, right? Well, if they're able to maybe find some exit frags, Chax is certainly trying to do that, but looks away. Actually still lands it somehow. Okay, and he's going to inch forward, gets the Vandal, has a bit of an inkling about Element there, but doesn't continue looking that direction. And he's going to pick up an Element as well, going for the second.
Oh man,
that's absolutely huge.
This is devastating if you are a Shadow fan. Tilted are going to be completely chuffed about this one here. They're having a much more close showing, and unfortunately it's just not quite there for it. It's another buy yet again, but after this one they're just going to have to force for the last 2 rounds just to see if they can't get them as a bit of momentum. They really want to try and get that 4-8 margin at least at this one, and if not, then it's going to be a little bit dire going into the second half. So I don't know what kind of plans they're going to be having to try and switch it up here, but yeah, they need to do something that's trying to work here. They do a little bit more sort of methodical ones there. They just realize they can't quite hold on, so they're just going to see if they can't try and fight for the retake and a bit more lurks here. But look at that, the B main push. This could actually be the round favoring them now.
Oh, nice pick coming out there from Vesta. Just getting that entry frag.
Oh.
The aggression is finally coming out here from ShadowNet, and it's paying off quite well. Nice 2 opening frags. Only trading back 1. Tilted. They're still determined. They're going to try and go for that spike. Completely uncontested. Those are going to just find a little bit of info there. But fall back off it. 53 seconds left as they're inching their way over towards the A site, and that's a big pick coming out there. All of a sudden, it's on equal footing, 3v3, and they're going to be able to get this spike down, I do believe. Calamari going to be using the recon bolt out straight away, though. It tags 2. Calamari going to see 1 falling back, but here comes the Sova ult out now. Element going to be trying to find a bit of damage, but it doesn't really do all that much. Eye coming out here. Gonna blind 2 just for a second before going down. But Calamari now locked in the corner. Bit of damage being done there, but actually finds it back. There we go. ShadowNet now in the 3-on-2. It's Tilted. Still have to hold this post plant, but time is turning towards their side just a little bit. Calamari getting on it, though, gonna half stick it. Now it's down to the 1 versus 1 Element. He's just gonna watch this, and RX-7 gonna push right into his crosshair. And Tilted, just where it started to look where ShadowNet might be able to find themselves a retake, just going to play that post plant perfectly yet again.
Oh no, that was their opportunity, a 3v2, and it was just slipped away the last second. I don't know why they didn't try and swing towards long side, but they got picked up very early there and try and play it out of the timing. Obviously, they realized the Sova ult was there, but they have to try and wait for it just a tiny bit more. They have to have a little more time to bait out that ult before you keep on commencing there. So it looks like I'm going to do the force buy strat. They're just going to go for the eco and see if they can't try and get a full buy next round and win the 2-10. But man, they have almost nothing left in this game. They're just getting stomped at every angle, and they're just losing these early picks.
Yeah, it's a shame. ShadowNet, not quite the close game we were talking about, thinking it would go back and forth. Instead, it's just going all the way of Tilted, and now Calamari just left again by himself, only with that Sheriff. He's got his knife out. He's going to go for it. He's just going to run straight over, but not going to connect the first swing. Flawless round coming out from Tilted. And now, last round, Shadownet's just going to buy up with what they have, but this defense side for them has been extremely rough.
Yeah, it is just not fun at all if you are a Shadow fan for this one. They have to get this last round, if otherwise 11-1, it is just done and dusted. They let one round slip and it's map point, and there's not much you can do from that one there. 2-10, it is, again, almost impossible as well to try and bring that one back, but it is a little bit better of a margin than a 1-11, so hopefully RX can pop off here to try and recover it for Sharonet, but yeah, a bit of mistiming. Oh no, still more salt in the wound.
Oh, that's just unfortunate for Shadownet here. This is going to be tilting to play against RX7, at least going to be able to connect one back with the op, but this is not looking too good once again. I mean, how many times this half could you say that, really? But
yeah, don't know. 3-4, not quite lost in this round, and good position ready for them. So it looks like they're just going to go for this B here and just try and get the plant under wrap. So Cypher has to get the one quick pick while they get the site, and it's tied up for a 3v3. But yeah, they're just sort of making sure that they can get this plant at the very least. And of course, the lurk coming out here from Cypher as well towards mid, ready for that rotate, but they're not going to challenge it. They're just going to fight for CT.
Yeah, drone going to go out to check back on the site, but nothing there. That should signal the push to come through surely enough.
Oh, that
just holding on.
bolt.
Yeah, that could be something, but he's just holding on, waiting for some kind of over-aggression.
Yeah,
it's not going to come. Instead, actually, they're going to be going over towards A. They've baited out the rotate using all of their util, and now they're just going to leg it over. Spike already down.
Yeah, that is very problematic to say the least. The recon bot helped them get a bit of cover towards B. They had the right idea, but they just sort of legged it last second, especially with that teleport. Definitely helped them get that plant. If Chax finds this pick, it might be saving, or there we go, and the neural theft as well, ready to be locked and loaded. They spot them all towards under heaven take. They have to find this wallbang, but I don't know if RX7 can. They're just going to try and burst out here. Chax with yet another one, and now they're just going to jump out towards site. They can probably predict that they're both up into heaven here. Giants are first, and they've finally done it. Or Shadownet, it is cutting it a little bit close on that defuse. They are praying and hoping, but there's just enough.
It is over.
Well, look, if you're going to win a round in the half, or a second one anyway, you might as well do it at the very end.
Switching sides.
10-2 half as the scoreline is laid out right
look at
there.
that. 8 rounds in a row. You can just see it. It is mocking almost for Sharonet wide. They have to win this pistol, otherwise it is pretty much done and dusted at that point. It'll be 11-2. They have the 4 buys in hand, and then they're just praying that they can win an anti-eco, which isn't going to be ideal. So pressure is on for this pistol here to try and bring it back. And looks like they're just going to go for the B take here and see where they go. That's actually a bit of a gamble, but it will pay off. Cypher's over towards A site. They do have extra manpower there, but that is what you usually expect on B. And looks like Tilting may be playing this very close angles here. So if they get lucky with these shots and manage to find these early picks, then they actually have a pretty good chance. And look at that, fast as ever. They have no fear.
Just dashing straight into the smoke, but never gonna find that shot. The shock dart going out as well. It's still alive. The 3K coming out from Nivike. Gonna swing out as well to try and find the 4th. Hungry for this last dragon. Calamari so low. They're just gonna go straight for it. And that's the 4K coming out. Absolutely sharp shooting. Tilted just gonna shut it straight down as they're looking to just take this game and get through the first round.
Oh man. Oh man, you would expect much better showing from that one. That is just heart-wrenching for it. They had the right idea going for B. They actually cancelled most of that early util, and they just sort of let it crumble. So obviously Kevin gets 2 picks. There's not much you can do about that one. There was just a bit of aim factor, but they should have called out he was tools. He got picked up from tools, and no one swung it. No one cleared it, and he got 2 more off the back of it, and that's 4 quick kills. And we know how deadly Kevin could be if he's given the opportunity. So now they're stuck with a force buy, and man, RX7 actually going to make it work. Finds the headshot onto Andy. And that's another
nice
one. There you go. That is a bit of momentum for Shadownet to try and bring it back. But they have to find at least one more here to get out on the A side.
Oh my god, once again, just gonna find 2K and all of a sudden just turn things around even more so. Still 3-on-2, RX-7, we can try and do some damage. But in an instant, Shax is now the only man standing. Spike still hasn't gone down. If he can connect these shots, it'd be huge, but Nivi with back-to-back 4Ks.
Oh man, Kevin is just completely mincing ShadowNet here. 25-7. Just when they thought they actually had momentum, 2 quick picks. They got the trades favoring for them onto Mirza. And then, of course, Kevin comes along, finds a 4K, and then it is done and dusted just like that. And, man, the fact they activated the Empress as well just to make sure they win this one, that is just crushing for them. So now they're stuck on another Force by Sheriff, Spectres, the Marshal as well. It's just chaotic for them, and I just don't know what you can do with ShadowNet at the moment. They have lost all hope and all momentum, and they're just currently not quite playing as a team. They're just sort of trying to get these early picks to prey and see if they can't find these early rounds and a plant at that, and then who knows what happens from there. So I'm just not seeing a whole lot of structure coming out here. They're just getting crumbled at every turn and not having these trades ready and waiting. Oh, there's one quick pick.
Yeah,
there's one quick pick. A bit of hope from Vesta. They spot out the A flank, and now they're up towards Catwalk. They can easily bait out the trap eyes and then rotate towards B, but question is, are they going to be doing that? And oh, the position from Mirza as well, already pushed up. That is just chaotic. I think the Owl finally spotted him out, but yeah, this is going to be a little bit disastrous for them again if they go for this A site.
Huge pick from Kevin there on top for 4-on-4. ShadowNet just needs something to keep them in this anything. But Vesta going down isn't going to do that for them.
This is something. Chax has managed to creep away into enemy lines, and they know that B site is free for the taking. He has to find 2 kills here to help secure the round, and I don't think they realize it.
30 seconds left.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, thank goodness for that. Almost
still finds the first, but now he knows his pincer. He has to single out these fights, and Element isn't going to let that happen. Pressure's on for RX-7, and of course, Calamari to clutch this one up here. 2v3, and man, this is going to be a stretch and a half.
Now the rotate going to come through. So we see these players just going around from the defender spawn side. They can just find one of these or just find some info. It's pretty much game over for ShadowNet, really. The Recon Bolt going to go out from Calamari to try and find at least something back. Smoke going onto the Dart, and the no-scope coming out with RX-7, and now they've turned it around. Calamari as well. It's all down to Element. Going to try and find the first. Going to be spraying. Going to try and do something. Sheriff out. No shots are connecting. Well, at least there's one. Calamari going down. That spike is ticking away.
No.
Time getting low. Element going to get on it, but is there time? I don't think so, and neither does he.
They hold on yet again for ShadowNet. 3-12, and Element gets caught out as well. He almost clutched it up there, but the insane plays from RX-7 and Calamari managed to bring it back. 3-12, but 9 rounds in a row. Oh man, that is going to be a very, very long while to walk.
Yeah, for sure. That was definitely something there from ShadowNet, just pulling out that post plant. It's definitely a showing of strength coming a little bit late in the game, especially at this scoreline. But hey, any opportunity to take rounds and just keep this going is exactly what they need right now.
Oh yeah,
but can they go for another 9? That's the question.
Definitely for that one there. You know, even if they just get some rounds together, it'll help bring some momentum and a bit of courage for later on there. Once they get some momentum, then, you know, it's going to be looking pretty scary for Tilted. But they have to find those ones first. So the pressure's on. It is do or die here. And if they lose a single round, then it is done and dusted. So looks like it's going to be another A take. And of course, the Lurker coming out here from Chax, ready to catch those off angles. He might even catch out the Jet here if he finds the right timing. Oh.
And he's going to spot that one on the Shax. Nice shot going out now as push starts to come through slowly over from the side of A. Yakuza thinking about teleporting back up. Not quite going to do it though, as now ShadowNet start pushing in. But Yakuza going to find that one. Del Toro at least going to trade it back, try and open up that site and go for the plant. But coming back around, Moza going to try and do something. Not quite able to just yet. Calamari in prime positioning as well.
Oh no.
But Kevin on site is just looking to shut it down, and Element gonna end it 13-3.
Just when you thought you had a bit of momentum from that one, Kevin comes creep along and from cover manages to find those quick picks there. 13-3 was that final margin. And honestly, a lot of it came down to the big wave factor of Kevin just completely deleting them. I think he had 3 4Ks throughout that series. And man, it is just insane to be trying to match up against that one there. They unfortunately they had early rounds for them, had a pretty good chance towards the round 6 mark, but just couldn't make them work. There were too many close 1v1s and not quite enough from there. So trying to, play those off angles and otherwise fight for the retakes as opposed to holding on towards sight is definitely a lot better of a showing than just, trying to guns blaze and see if you can't find these quick picks as they're rotating through. Obviously, one on side's a bit different. You might be able to find 2 kills, but you have to wait for those rotates before you can make anything happen from it. So props to Tilted. They managed to stomp through and read them like a book and just had the aim factor as well and just completely dismembered Sharonet from it. And now, of course, they're through to that next round and Sharonet are just going to have to try and fight for another tournament.
Yeah. But before we go into the next round anyway, we're going to cut to a quick break. Do make sure to stick around as we'll be bringing you the next game going ahead in for round number 2 of the Open Qualifier. I've been Tuesdays. This is Potato Fries. We'll be back soon with another round. Don't go anywhere.
All right, folks. Welcome back to the Nova Order Invitational and the Open Qualifiers. And man, oh man, we had a little bit of a stall match on the very first one. Not gonna lie, we thought we'd be a bit swayed either way, but Tilted came out on top, a very clean 13-3, and going through to the next round. And now, of course, we got ourselves this next matchup for another best of one for tonight, which is going to be between Grinch Gang and Straight Outta the Zoo. If you want to take us away with those lovely vetoes, Luther.
Of course. Coming off the back of that last game, and that was quite the one-sided affair that we saw. Very interesting performance coming out from Tilted, but hopefully with this one, we should be seeing something a bit closer, perhaps put on a bit of a show. And of course, the show starts with the vetoes, which we had Straight Outta the Zoo kicking things off by banning Split, Grinch Gang striking back with a Haven ban, so Sots banning Bind, Grinch getting rid of Icebox finally, and once again, Ascent. Is where we're
beautiful Ascent. We do love to see it, of course. And hey, these teams have managed to practice with Ascent a whole lot, so they're quite comfortable with them. So we'll have to see what is going to be coming this time around. It might be some similar picks to get the momentum, but we might like to see a little bit of a Killjoy mix-up, or otherwise an Astra occasionally can sort of help out from those ones. But, you know, it's not too shabby across the board to be seeing these teams there. Now, on paper, I believe Straight Outta the Zoo do come out on top. They do have that sort of top 8 margin in Ocean at the moment versus Grinch Gang in the top sort of 16. So it is a little bit of a sway either way, but, you know, this should be a very close going for this one there. And I don't think any of these teams have changed much of their rosters coming out there. We got ourselves, you know, Azor, Grinch, Daisy, Hot Shelly, and Tax. And otherwise, over towards Straight Outta the Zoo, you already know them. Yafang, Duddy Boy, Punda, Mikey, and Nice Hacks. So we'll have to see where these ones go from that one. The only one I know of at the moment was Straight Outta the Zoo from prior. Managed to get okay results towards the LPO one there. But for now, we got ourselves the vetoes, and we'll have to see what these ones are looking like on paper from that one there. So already coming out here for Grinch Gang on the defense side. Locking the Sage from Grinch, Tax with the Phoenix, Dizzy with the Jet, Jabs with the Omen, and Hot Shelly with that Sova. Now over towards the Straight Outta the Zoo side here, they're going to go for a little bit more of a modern approach, either the Sky or the Yoru, and of course that Breach as well. So Yifeng already locking in the Sova. Cloxy, thinking about that Jet, and Deegs as well with that Killjoy. We'll have to see what these lock-ins are looking like for those last few switches. But I'd imagine they're going to have quite a strong lineup here going on towards offense. So both teams trying to play for the offense half here, trying to play a bit of the long game. But the thing is that over towards defense side here, they're going to be quite struggling for Straight Outta the Zoo. But the Jet, the Omen, the Killjoy, the Breach, and I believe it was the Sky as well to block on that one there. So it's going to be quite aggressive and quite fast. You got to get your sunglasses out for this one. 6 flashes in hand, possibly 7 with the Omen as well. It's going to be very quick takes from Straight Outta the Zoo. We know they love to just go mad crazy over towards these fast takes. Grinch Gang have a very hard coming from this one. On paper, Straight Outta the Zoo are the team to be beating this, but they definitely have a very strong chance to bring this one up here. Get some early rounds, use those Phoenix lurks, and making sure you can lock them down with those op shots with the Jet as well. The Sova intel is definitely great for scanning out lots of different sites, as we've seen from the different defaults on Ascent. But for now, we got ourselves this game here, Grinch Gang versus Sots, and boy oh boy, I'm thinking Sots will probably come out on top, but you know, Grinch Gang have a pretty strong showing and a good composition. And actually, no, I thought they had the Sky lock in, but they changed up last second with the Omen for those pre-smokes, so that's pretty good on offense. But these heals are going to favor Grinch, and definitely going to be able to lock down the market wrap easily. So they're just waiting for a few more bit of technical stuff here, but otherwise, what do you reckon? What do you reckon, 2Bs? What do you reckon is going to be happening for this one?
I mean, look, I'm hoping obviously for a closer one than another 13-3 on Ascent. Let's change some things up here. If we're not going to change the map, let's at least change the scoreline a bit. Grinch Gang versus Sots. Here we go. Going to be getting into the action momentarily.
And there we are.
It's going to start out with a bit of mid-aggression, perhaps not quite. Instead, going to be jumping back as the majority of players just kind of splitting over towards A and mid. Going for that A short. Just walking up, making no noise, really. Grinch going to be playing around the corner. Flash gonna go out, gonna get blinded by it, but the Sage Wall gonna come up regardless. Jumping over it though, Cloxy gonna try and find that one,
pick,
but instead it
indeed
backfires.
Is Kalashnikov gonna get quick trade, and one more from Yifang. They're out on the A side. It is a fight towards mid as Hot Cherry locking them in, but Grinch is going to silence them. Down to 3v3, but Tax out in the opening. I don't know why he swung so wide, but now they're at a disadvantage. A 2v3, and of course, Tree Room isn't looking ideal at all. They have to try and break this door to get it under wrap, but someone is already locked in position to try and shoot back. They have these perfect post-plant angles, and they can peek when they please. Grinch, fantastic tags onto the Killjoy. Could make this one work. Hot Cherry is now ready to strike, but of course, Deegs will get the first quick pick. Hot Cherry all alone to 1v3. Finds a first, but Kalashnikov a 3k to mop up at the end. 1-0 as Sots take the pistol.
Yeah, a lot of frags going back and forth there, just trying to get themselves onto that side, but not quite going the way of Grinch Gang. They make it a kind of close retake at least, though, but not going to be able to pick up that pistol. Instead, just going to be light buying here, going into the next, not having that reinforced economy. See a couple upgraded pistols, a Sheriff as well.
The lineup from Kalashnikov, he's thinking about that jet jump up. You can double jump up on towards the box and get a bit of intel and try and get the pick from it, but very bond matters. Oh, I think they spotted that close corner as well.
Jab's going to be just playing right around the corner, getting that one with a frenzy, but Deegs to trade it back. Dizzy going to be able to just try and get away, but still gets caught up in that. Grinch going to be able to find one to just hold on, and now Sots, despite having these better guns, aren't going to have the man advantage.
No, they do not. The 4v3, they've managed to set up pretty well here, showing their door as well and stalling for the heaven take, making sure they can't go through. They know they don't have any armor, and they're just going to make this fight a little bit more scarce while they get this plant under wrap. Oh no, Punter's going to be caught out here. He's trying to whittle them down for that little bit more, but Kalashnikov with a quick trade. Down to a 3v3. They're still trying to fight this retake regardless if they don't have the weaponry for it or not. But Dizzy going to get caught out from Kalashnikov yet again. I think they know that someone is lurking towards back of tree, and it is Tax. He still finds a swing onto Punda, and Grinch with the trade. Grinch with the follow-up. A fantastic headshot, a 3k to clutch it up. They take one back straight away from Sots, and they tie up the scoreline 1-1.
Really sharp shots coming out there from Grinch. They don't need that expensive buy to be able to land their shots and get themselves around, tying it up 1-1. Really like that retake coming out from Grinch Gang, just playing really well off each other, playing really sharp while they're at it as well. But we'll see if they can try and keep up that momentum, keep up that force. We're going to be seeing Kalashnikov buying up, got the Vandal in hand. Teammates not quite going for the same approach yet, might be rethinking this. 5 seconds left. Yep, there comes the cell. They're just going to be holding on to their base pistols. Not going to be doing too much as far as buying, just saving their money for next.
Yeah, the reset from that one is very, very devastating indeed. Oh, the Guardian from Dizzy. Good wall angle coming up from the Sage for that boost. And he knows that they're back towards tiles as well, making sure they can't be peeking on too close for that one. Task, this should be an easy pick 'em onto Generator, as Dizzy is just having a field day, deleting heads left, right, and center towards mid, and he's still going to reaggress. Kalashnikov will finally silence him. One more from Cloxy as well, but no heals available. And now Grinch can try and swing on through. He's looking to try and get this res here to get the extra guns for later. And because he got those extra frags early on, he can definitely make that one work. And look at this, trying to shut down the take. Jabs, a quick transfer, a 3k. Shuts them down, no armor to save the day. 2-1 as Grinch Gang are ahead.
That lineup is just so unfortunate for Sots there. They just all peek straight into that Vandal. And all Jabs had to do is just hold left click, pull the mouse down a little to control that recoil. Done and dusted, really.
Yeah, it is just no way you can have that one there. You managed to find the timing. If they waited the smoke a tiny bit more, maybe they would have been able to creep by, but of course, the weaponry in hand and the full reset, you can't do much. But look at that. Economy as all back on track. Full buys either side. And, oh man, not too sure what's going to be happening for this round.
Yeah, if I'm going to try and get the drone out, he's actually going to hit the bolt and find a little bit of info. Grinch shooting the recon bolt. Now the push going to come through over towards the A side. The teleport coming on. Going to hit that Kalashnikov onto Grinch. Now Grinch Gang left to try and make this retake happen.
Oh man, it is a fast take at that. Jabs will find a trade back down to a 4v4. They're trying to wallbang under Heaven to clear that angle, but they just need burst out of course, this Heaven take here to keep it going along. And look at that, they're already poised in position. They have to find the intel first, and they just need to scan to Heaven. The wallbang could be there. The Kalashnikov still going to find the shot onto Hot Shelly as he is dancing around here at the under Heaven take, and they're just not winning these duels. No one's fighting towards Tree. They're just muscling in at Heaven, and they just don't have any sway in this retake at all. And look at that, they're stuck on the save. Sots are going to tie up the scoreline straight back as we go 2-2, and they are completely headhunting as well with these exit frags, so they can't save anything into the next.
And early on in this game, we're just seeing this kind of back and forth going forward. No real momentum getting built up either side. It's just been, you know, one team takes a round and then straight into the other team, just reversing it back on them with their weakened buy, and then, you know, just building, just no momentum getting built whatsoever. Really, it feels like. But
yeah, it is a little bit disastrous.
Yeah, with this
Shelly
upgraded buy from both sides.
It seems to be that is the way. So they managed to save a fair bit of economy, and Hot Shelly look for that wall bang on towards B as well, but I don't think he'll be finding anything.
Yeah, especially as this group up from Sots is over towards A main here. Drone going out. Dizzy gonna hit the nice wall bang with the operator. But Soberdark coming out, gonna give away his position again. The smoke to try and clear him out, and the dash follows too. They're gonna take a bit of damage trying to evacuate back to the bomb site. And speaking of evacuation, well, Sots are going to do that from A main, just rotating back out, bringing the spike with them as they
after losing that early
mid control.
After losing that early pick on that A main there, they're down to a 4v5 and they have no intel towards A, so they're just going to muscle on towards B and see what happens, but that wall is going to stall them. They wait for the break, and there's still plenty of timing here, but we'll have to see what happens. Oh, a quick pick from Grinch. More salt into the wound and makes it a 5v3, and already they know that they're towards B. They just have to get their running shoes on, their rotating shoes at that. They're going to leave Sova on towards site, and he should be able to find one quick kill here, and then at that point it should be done dusted. But I say that, but looks like Punda will find one back. The wallbang, however, coming out from Grinch to get the trade. Plant is down from Yifang, and the retake is definitely on for this one. It's a 4v2, and they're stuck back both sides. And look at that, Yifang trying to lock them down with that ult. Finds one quick pick onto Dizzy, but they are still definitely stumped for this one. 2 quick kills, one from Jabs, one from Grinch. They shut that lockdown to make sure they get a nice and secure defuse onto this spike as they go 3-2 now. Advantage point for them again.
Yeah, really nice from Sots being able to just get out onto the site and being able to get that plant. But with not having that man advantage, Grinch Gang just being able to come in, kind of overwhelm them, get their abilities in, just shut everything down, really. Just a difficult post plan to hold, really, 2v4. I mean, you have to just make some huge plays there to try and bring that back to equal footing, try and bring it into 2-on-2, and then go from there. So it's you've already lost the advantage, let alone, you know, trying to just hold down.
Early on for that one, he's holding a bit of a wide angle to try and make that fight work, but, you know, he still went for it regardless, and I don't know what they're going to be trying to plan for this one for later, and by the looks of it, they still love this A side towards Sots, but they have been shut down time and time again. I really love these rotates from Sage. They're just, like, all over the map and locking them down. It's complete reads and just guesses, but they seem to be paying off.
Kalashnikov just trying to find some kind of wallbang there, but nothing on the other side at the moment.
No, that's in the corner of the B main there, but just didn't quite find the angle. So if that wallbang didn't quite connect, and I don't think that it did, but they're still going to clear it regardless.
Really well pushed up there, Dizzy. Finding that first one, able to get out. And Taxel in this corner, and they're not going to clear it. Diggs going to go down. At least it gets traded by Punda. But Dizzy still in quite the angle to watch the push up, but it's not going to come through. Hot Shelly going to be lurking behind to find one, but again, the trade comes out. The problem for Sots is that these trades still don't favor them 3 against 2.
30 seconds left.
Oh no, and of course the time is a big factor as well. 25 seconds left on the clock, 3v2, and they're already pincered in towards back of B. They cannot rotate. They don't have the timing to go towards A, and they're just going to have to burst out last second or otherwise die trying. And Cloxy's still going to find a quick pick, but 13 seconds left on the clock. That could be enough motivation to go on towards site, but Dizzy's still going to find one on the punter. He's just going to see if he can't get the plant, but Jabs is there, ready and waiting as they go 4-2 now for Grinch Gang.
Yeah, the problem for them there is they just left things way too late. I feel like if Sods were able to just try and burst out a little bit earlier, maybe they would have at least had a bit more luck. They would have had a bit more freedom to just clear things, be a little more careful, but instead Dizzy catching them off guard. And they spotted Dizzy around that area as well previously in the round, but they just didn't clear it, just escaped their mind that he could be lurking around with the op in that corner. And again, when you have to rush out, when you have to try and just make this play as quickly as possible because all your time is gone, you don't really have enough time to just like carefully think things through. You're just rushing and not able to get things out. But what Kalashnikov will be able to get out is that frag through the smoke on the tack. Really nice shot coming out from the Sheriff.
Those is pre-fires. That's a fantastic line to be firing from that one there. That is another good sign from Sots to make that one happen. And oh, he's crept behind the turret. They're not going to realize that. They might clear this wall, but it's a little too late. Oh, Cloxy with the knives. Getting the trade on from Jabs. Hot Chili as well. It's trades across the board here, folks. Kalashnikov still mopping up towards B here, but a 3K from him, a 3K from Chelly, and Dizzy to close it up. 5-2 now, as they're 3 rounds ahead for Grinch Gang.
And now it really seems like Grinch Gang is just not trying to. They've definitely found their form here. Just being able to get these trades off each other for the most part. We saw Sots in that last round, especially. They were able to get some frags. They were able to get it through. They just weren't able to follow up and make effective plays off any of these frags. So there was no real impact.
No, it was just not quite happening there. But they were rightfully so on an eco, and you know, there's not much you can do from that, especially the 3K from Kalashnikov. He is just popping off now for Sots to hold on here for these extra rounds. But, oh. No! It is disastrous as Chelly finds 2 quick picks, but Yifang answers straight back for Sots. Now down to a 3v3 as they're trying to recover up for this one. Tack spots out the close corner as well, but misses the molly. Still finds a shot, however, and just like that, Diggs alone in a 1v3, stuck back top mid with no spike at all in his midst. And looks like both eyes are on him as well to try and find this quick pick.
Diggs gonna try and peek out here. Gonna spot off one, but the info going the way of Grinch Gang at least. But at least he's able to find that. Tax going down. 50 seconds left on the clock to try and make a play. The turret will get placed. But Jabs is just gonna be able to clean it up, pushing over towards A main. And finding round number 6 for Grinch Gang.
Oh, that is clean indeed for them. They're just completely stomping through for that one. 4 rounds ahead. And you thought that would actually be turned around either way, especially with Yifang with that 2K, but so far just not quite stepping up for them. Kalashnikov is sweating hard for Sots, and he is definitely making that easy for them. But of course, they really need someone else to be trying to step up for these rounds, especially Cloxy. 4 and 7. It's just not ideal at all.
Yeah, 12 and 6 there for Kalashnikov, and we've seen the effect that's had. I mean, he's just been able to find all these frags, and they've just been able to play off it, really.
Oh, lockdown activated, and looks like they're going to go for this B take here, 4 straight out of the zoo. They should be able to get this site pretty free, but they have to get a lot of momentum for it. Grinch going to try and stall him as best he can. Those slows are going to be very problematic as Dizzy finds yet another one. They're out on site, but of course, they now finally mop up the remaining defenders who are detained. Jabs all alone now at CT, and the turret gonna spot him out. Plant is down. Retake is on. They got plenty of money in the bag for Grinch Gang, so even if they find these exits, it is a win for them. But if they manage to win this round, then it's just even more salt into the straight out of the zoo wound. He's gonna keep swinging along here. That wall is not gonna be favoring him at the slightest, but he could manage to find the timing, and the alarm bot has spotted him out. Catches out the Kalashnikov, however, and he's still gonna lock them in towards side. He might not win the round, but he's definitely going to be getting these quick kills here to make more damage to that economy. He's going to teleport towards site as Diggs spots it out. A 3K to clutch it up for Sots. They finally take a round back after losing so many in a row. 3-6.
And Sots absolutely needed to get that. I mean, trying to break this momentum, stop things before they get way too out of control here for Grinch Gang. There's definitely a lot mentally in just being able to break that down here, really. But yeah, Sots, if they can try and keep this up, try and build up their own momentum, we could definitely have quite the game on our hands here, especially if they keep, if we keep seeing Kalashnikov just making these huge impact frags, and if they're able to just find more impact off them.
Yeah, that's going to be a very big difference maker. The full buys again, and the opposite hand are probably going to be wreaking havoc here. I think they spotted the shoulder of Sova, but they just can't quite find the lineup. Oh no, a missed shot from Dizzy, but Punda won't miss. He's going to hit him with that punch through from Breach and catch out Hot Shelly. And the man advantage for Sots now. Grinch trying to find a quick trade here. Might find the timing on towards Catwalk, but no, by the looks of it, isn't going to go for the swing.
Yeah, just going to be holding back instead. This mid control is pretty much completely gone the way of Sots here. We see Cloxy just scoping in. We're seeing the Sova drone come out to try and find some information. All it found was a bullet. But now the ult coming out here as we see Punda unleash that. Kalashnikov finding yet another frag to add to that number.
Ooh, 5v3 now, and they're out towards the A site. The pressure's on for Dizzy to try and find these quick kills before it gets too dire. Finds a first, and one from Jabs, the mid flank, to lock down Catwalk so Dizzy can help reposition. Still gets caught out from Deeks, however, down to a 2v3. Grinch is already out on site, finds another one straight back, and the follow-up onto Yifang. It's down to Deeks all alone, but Grinch, it was too easy. It was on paper, just like that, a 3k, and he takes it 7-3 for Grinch Gang.
Grinch just being able to just isolate those and just turn them into 3 separate 1v1s in the span of a few seconds. No one just swinging out with the ability to trade or really. They just they all just faced him one by one, just gave him the easy way in. They lined that up for him in the way that they peaked.
Yeah.
But still an impressive play nonetheless. Anyway, Grinch just being able to turn around and hit that. That's nuts from him.
It was crazy because Dizzy was trying to lock down the site. He was waiting for the Grinch to rotate, and he managed to come through heaven in the nick of time. And so it just helped a tiny bit more to make it happen. But, you know, it sort of added up towards the end there. And now the 7-3. They've already won the half here for Grinch, and Sots are 4 rounds behind. Stuck on Ego yet again.
Yifang trying to hit some shots with his Sheriff. Little gap in the smoke here for Jabs. Trying to see if he could use that, but not quite able. Grinch instead on top of the box, or on top of the wall here rather, in mid. But we're going to see Kalashnikov swing him. Not going to be able to land any shots this time though, and now he's going to fall back. Push, grouping up over towards B here as we see Hot Shelly.
Oh, he's
going for the peek. He actually spots one.
Oh,
he goes for it again, and it doesn't work.
Playing with the trade actually cleans up on a Hot Shelly. Grinch is going to answer straight back. Tax is there, of course, ready to lock down the B side. He has the runner back activated, and they know they don't really want to be swinging him unless they absolutely have to. The molly in hand, going to catch out Cloxy here. He's stalling as best he can, but he has almost no HP in that corner. It's still a 4v3, and they're trying to make this one work, but they just have no intel at all for this one. Yifang might catch out Grinch, but still alive on 3 HP. Tax is completely shutting them down toward the B main here and can easily heal himself. Down to a 2v4, and they are almost at the red zone now. The 15-second mark, and I don't know what they're going to be doing for this round here. They're going to try and fight for the B main, see if they can't get the plant in hand, and see what they can make this one work, but they're just going to burst out into their doom. Grinch with a 4K will mop them up yet again as they go 8-3 as we go in the last round before the switch.
That shock dart leaving Grinch on 3 HP.
Here.
Just so close. And if that had hit, if that had wiped him out completely, I mean, that certainly would have changed the tide of things. He'd go on to just find those final frags.
Yeah, it was so close for that one. It almost just literally a tiny millimeter wider would have gone further and actually got the deeper angle onto him. But yeah, still again, not much you could do on those eco ones for it. Sots might be able to make this one turn around, and they really want to, but 3-9 is okay offense side there. They do have a pretty good defense line with the Killjoy and the Sova and the Jet. So
yeah, Dizzy just holding on this angle here, but nothing quite going to push out. Flash going to go through to clear out A main, but nothing behind it to get blinded. Now we're seeing Hot Shelly unleash the Sova ult, but 3 shots are up. Not going to hit. Yifang is going to do the same, though. Is he going to hit with his? Not quite either. 2 Sova ults not doing anything But what will happen instead is we're going to see Sots just holding on to this A main control and using it now, trying to get out. Lockdown going to come through as Dizzy looking to try and re-aggress. Kalashnikov finding that frag in mid, meanwhile lurking behind. Dizzy going to trade it back at least. Now still on a 4-on-4. Kalashnikov once again with the impact frags, and Tax. Well, maybe you'd try and swing off that instead, just throwing out the flash anyway. That spike is going to go down.
Jabs with a quick take back. Down to a 3v3 now, but Kalashnikov completely mopping up towards the mid take here. But what can they do for further on here? Fantastic wall coming out here from Tax. Cuts out half the side, and the flash is in hand, stalling for either side. One from Cloxy, one from Punda, and a follow-up from Cloxy. Sots hold on for these post plans and take it 4-8 on the first half.
Switching sides.
And not as one-sided as we saw in round 1 of the Open Qualifier in our previous game, but even still, Grinch Gang, they've got themselves quite the advantage going into the second half for sure.
Yeah,
being able to just build
Straight
up
the
all
Zoo
that.
seem to be quite rusty as a showing there. Grinch are completely on point for these ones here, and this isn't what I'm usually expecting for Straight the Zoo here, so they might have to try and set up a little bit more across the board to try and get these ones back. They do have the defense side, the easy breezy going, but man, they have to have plenty of methodical takes here from Punda, because Breach isn't exactly the greatest at stalling for these pushes. He's mainly there just to try and counter flash and then swing off of it, but looks like the B setup could be the play, and otherwise Yifang having to try and lock down this mid.
Take flight.
Once again, the mid aggression going to come through. Hot Shelly with that drone. Will it spot anything? Though Yifang's still not being spotted out. There he is. Dark's going to miss. He's going to try and land some shots, though, but they're going to miss 2 for the most part. Shock Dart going out, and Kalashnikov going to play right off that. Swift headshot to Dizzy. Tax being able to trade one back, but Kalashnikov having even more impact even further in this game. He already has. Tax trying to change things back, but Punda going to be right around the corner. Nice shot on a Hot Shelly. Cloxy with that one, and now Jab's left all by himself. And he's not going to be left by himself for very long as he goes down.
Oh man, 5-8 now. They're 3 rounds behind. They win that pistol was definitely very chaotic. They were pushing all the way through CT once they realized Yifang was solo. That was actually an insane play from Yifang, actually dodging under the owl just to try and get that quick pick, because the owl missed its scan. He knew, okay, I can actually swing off this because I can't scare me, and I could try and find a quick headshot and then run back. And of course, the perfect rotate from Kalashnikov to secure them before he gets absolutely stomped through from manpower. But yeah, Grinch Gang stuck on the eco. They have the rounds to play with, so rightfully so, and then they can try and fight them back another day.
Found them. Spawn grenade out.
Now Diggs just going to be trying to spray through the smoke blindly, trying to hit something. Kalashnikov going to be spraying through a smoke as well. His shots will land. Even more shots landing as he finds 3. Yifang and Diggs going to be finding that impact as well in the very end. Without dropping a player, without even dropping much HP, they're going to be able to find that one. Start closing the gap as they find number 6.
Oh, very good indeed. 2 rounds behind. Things are looking quite close here. Not too much for them. They'll just have to see what they can do with these full buys in hand, and of course the classic ones from Sots to have the eco buys back, just get some money banked up. Even if they don't win the round, they can definitely do some damage with economy, and then it'll be very, very dire for later on.
So immediately gonna see that come through. Smoke coming out as well onto where Grinch is, but we'll push up a bit further. Tax finding that first opener. Jabs to follow up with the second over towards B, but the rotate will be called through. That spike is going to make its way all the way over. Yifang be able to spot out this over drone, trying to find some information, but instead just going to get shot down. But Hot Shelly just holding on to the corner there.
All right.
Smoke.
They're out towards the B site again, Grinch Gang. The full buys in hand. He doesn't spot the barrel, and Dizzy will punish towards mid. One more from Hot Shelly out towards the B site, and it's Diggs all alone again, stuck in a 1v5 this time. Finds a fantastic shot with the Sheriff onto Dizzy, but of course they are hunting him down of Ravenous Dogs as Tax will clean up onto him. 9-6 now as they make the gap a little bit wider for Grinch Gang.
Yeah, Grinch Gang just trying to hold on to this advantage for as long as they possibly can. They're doing a damn fine job of it as well in that round. But now we're seeing the buy again coming out from both teams here. And this is where things will be really interesting. The operator coming out from Cloxy. Again, the jet op, definitely a good combination to have. Because we're just seeing 5 rifles coming through for Grinch Gang. So they're getting ready to just leg out B, I feel like. No default play here. They're all grouped up towards B main. Tremor going to come out, though, from Ponder. Not quite going to land through. The flash is coming out for Phoenix. The smoke as well to stop the operator's sightline. They're just going to be pushing straight onto the side. But Kalashnikov teleporting behind. He's actually going to find 2 there. And now Grinch Gang looking like they're just going to be shot in the leg as they try to push out, but aren't quite able to make it with all their players alive.
Oh man, Dizzy stuck in a 1v5. I don't think he's going to make this one work anytime soon as Cloxy goes to show. Deletes him for that one. They take it 7-9 now. Just straight out of the zoo. Fantastic flank from Kalashnikov and the teleport. I can't believe that they didn't actually try and predict that one there. I'm certain you can hear the Omen teleports come out, but they might have just been too far away to hear that one. So he manages to punish and not only gets the 2k, but the ult runner back from Tax as well is just very, very devastating for them. They had such a good B take. Tax spot, no one on site, and they just couldn't make it work.
An early dart to come over from Hot Shelly over towards A, I believe. Smoke going to come through. The Cloxy going to be able to find what's on the other side with that shot. The operator Tax going to fall straight away just seconds into the round. Kalashnikov looking to still try and maybe just push up. Playing a little bit aggressive there. Yifeng going to be droning out, going to spot 1. That's onto Dizzy. Gets tagged a few times, but nothing to come off it. Cloxy just holding on for that mid-control.
You will not kill
Whether or not Jabs peeks out is yet to be seen. Rez going to come out onto Tax, now back into the 5-on-5.
Ooh, it's close quarters, and looks like they're trying to go for this B take here, but they're not too scared of it. They're going to try for the A yet again. I think they know the Killjoy is over there, but they're going to risk it and see what can happen for it. 40 seconds left on the clock. The spike back tiles, but they eventually grab it last second. Hot Shelly looking to try and poise onto Heaven and spots out the angle. They know no one's on site, and they're just trying to stall with Deegs with those swarms in hand. They shoot them just like that. Deegs with the first, and going to make it a 5v4. Jabs with the trade back, however, even to score, as Yifeng finds yet another one. Down to the 3v3. One more from Cloxy to completely shut down this take here. They're going to try and get that plant under wraps. Grinch planting generator side, but can't stick it as Yifeng breaks the door and mops up Cloxy with a 3k to shut down that A main push. They go 8-9. They are 1 round behind now for straight out of the zoo.
Oh, this gap is just getting closed up now, and we've got a game on our hands. Finally, things are getting really close and heated. Straight out of the zoo. Some really good rounds coming out in the last 2 there, especially as they were able to just get onto their sites, just get, they were able to just shut down these plants, really.
Let's go.
It's been really strong showing from them on defense, which is not quite what we were seeing on their offense. They weren't able to get the pushes through and get all the frags they needed before, but now that they're on the other side, we're seeing a really strong showing. I'm quite impressed.
They're stuck on this eco yet again for Grinch Gang. They're just going to try and get this plant down the A side. I think they know Killjoy's there, but they're already close corners. But Kalashnikov says no. 2 picks, 1 straight through the other, as Yifeng going to get another quick pick. Dizzy with 1 with the knives, but of course, Jabs all alone. Cloxy says no. 9-9 now. They tie up the scoreline for straight out of the zoo.
Can we just talk for a second about how sharp that shot was from Kalashnikov there?
Yeah, the wallbang from
just
the first
shooting.
And the second headshot straight through it. That was just... That's so unfortunate for them. You cannot predict that one, but again, they're on the eco. They're going towards Killjoy's jaws, and they got snapped up from it. And Deegs was just happy about that field day, getting the extra util damage from it. But of course, the full buys in hand.
Rifle. Just
insane.
That was nuts, honestly.
Insane.
Love to see it. And
now
full
buys in hand. Full buys in hand now, so they're coming for the B take yet again. And he's completely getting the side here. Oh! Cloxy with a 2-piece, a wallbang from Grinch and Dizzy, and they are shutting it down with their ults here. Jabs will find a quick trade back. He's teleported out towards site, but he's all alone. Hot Shelly close to B main here, and he has to try and grab this spike and dip on before it gets too late. He finds cover in the nick of time, and manages to dip away, but he doesn't get the spike in hand. It was concealed from the smoke. There's a minute left on the clock, and they had to try and fight for it, but Yifang is going to shut down Hot Shelly. It is Jabs all alone in a 1v4, and they're swinging towards him. Cloxy with the wallbang, the 3k, then they go 10-9 for straight out of the zoo.
And now, for the first time for straight out of the zoo, they've taken themselves the round advantage. They're finally up there. The first time since the pistol round in half number 1. Now we're starting to see Grinch Gang just not quite able to keep up the same pressure that they were on the defense. Now things are going completely the opposite direction. And straight out of the zoo, they're definitely going to have a little bit of an advantage going into this next round, looking at the buy here. Cloxy almost hitting that shot, just whiffing a tiny little bit there. Kalashnikov just getting ready for this push to come out. So is Diggs. They're going to find a frag each. The swing coming out from Kalashnikov at perfect timing. And that's going to leave Grinch Gang without 2 of their players that they desperately need to make this work.
Oh man, they're stuck on an eco. They do have the inner cowboys in hand, but it just isn't with them today. His Jabs gets caught out from Diggs. Swinging up catwalk down to a 2v5. Cloxy still holding on towards his top angle. Actually gets the wallbang onto the Jet. The follow-up on the Dizzy, and it's all too easy. A flawless hold from straight out of the zoo. They go 11-9. That beautiful tipping point on this match.
Oh, you love to see it. If you're going for straight out of the zoo, that is.
Here.
And I'm sure
Here.
there are definitely some strong supporters there in the Twitch chat who are just keen to see this comeback happen. There are also some there ready to see Grinch Gang just try and turn things around. Anything could happen in this round, and now is the perfect time for it to go down. Both teams now on the full buy. 5 seconds left until we see some action. And here we go. The grouping over towards B, we're going to start to see just some slow aggression. Trying to take that B main push. Meanwhile, in mid, seeing that shot come off, but not quite land a kill. Now we're going to see Yifang with the ult, and there it is. The info plus the ult, just going to be a deadly combination. But Panda going for this aggression, going to find 1, going to find 2. And now Grinch Gang left with 2 players left. Maybe 1 less if this mid-control doesn't go their way. Cloxy holding on as Diggs, pushing around, and now finally Dizzy left in the 1 versus 5. He has to pull out something absolutely insane here.
Fantastic bait towards back of there, but it's not to be had. Another flawless round for straight out of the zoo, and it looks like they have finally found their footing. Grinch Gang are left crumbled after that one. They've lost 6 rounds in a row from the 9-3. All they had to do was win that pistol, and they would have been 11-3 just like that. And then Straight the Zoo would have just been shaking in their boots. But now, Straight the Zoo are on map point, and Grinch Gang have to win 3 in a row to fight overtime. They do have full buys still, but a couple Spectres, it looks a little bit dire. They do have those 2 ults to try and take something and make it work, and Tax might be the man to do so with that run it back. Oh, fantastic flick from Cloxy. Actually deletes Hot Shelly, doesn't even get a say in this round as they're trying to take on for this next bit here. But Kalashnikov, another quick op shot. Cloxy with the knives out. He's going to put more damage onto the Grinch Gang crew as he finds a 3k. It's down to the 2v4. Make it a 1v4. Yifang deletes Grinch, and they know that Omen is stuck back in this close corner. It's the right click from Cloxy, the 4k to mop it up, and straight out of the zoo are through to tomorrow night. Grinch Gang are eliminated.
Straight out of the zoo, just an absolutely massive comeback, bringing it from an 8 to 4 half where they were down.
That's right.
And just completely turning it around. 30 frags as well for Kalashnikov in the end, just putting in the effort, just absolutely hard carrying as much as he possibly could, just going for these massive, massive frags. And yeah, now we're going to see the scoreboard here, and just look at that.
Insane across the board. They're 30 and 15, 20 and 11, 15 and 11. They all had double digits for them, all went positive, and only really Grinch, Dizzy, and Jab stepping up. They really needed to make sure that Tax was getting on par from that. But the 9 and 20, he had their early momentum, but just couldn't make them work off the back of it, and it went to show from there. And yeah, the 8-4. One round in the second half pretty early there, and they just had no momentum. It must have been 7 rounds in a row to bring that one back and to clutch it up for Australia Zoo. And so they'll be through on to tomorrow night. They will be versing the winner of 9 Lives and Genuine gaming.
Yeah, indeed. But what a game that was there. Some really great Valorant coming out tonight, of course, starting it off with bit of a one-sided affair, but then straight into that where it just got so close, and eventually we just saw that massive comeback happen. Quite some quality content, if I do say so myself, especially with Straight Out of the Zoo, just absolutely powering through to find that one. But yeah, absolutely insane. You love to see it here. Any thoughts, Pierce?
Man, yeah, going from the 13-3 from there, Tilted going through pretty cleanly on Ascent, and then Ascent again for that one, but much closer showing. Grinch Gang had the momentum, and Straight the Zoo, it just seemed like they were just trying to get any footing for them, and eventually found it. Had an insane comeback, brought it 13-9 to go through towards the tomorrow night one, where they'll be versing none other than Nine Lives and Genuine, the winner of that match. But man, what a close showing from those ones. There was insane plays to make that one work at all. And of course, just had to keep it going along for that next set there. So, of course, without further ado, these ones are pretty much there. We'll be back tomorrow night, 6 p.m. AEST, of course, with Smash and Pilski on for the order channel for that one. So, of course, stay tuned for updates on the bracket. My name has been Pierce Potato Fries Evans, and of course, I was joined with Luther to SBS Mitchell for this duocast for tonight. Be sure to get our socials or follow. It's at Potato Fries AU and at It's to SBS on those Twitters there. Otherwise, any other wrapping words to SBS?
It's been an absolute pleasure casting for you all. It's been an absolute pleasure being back on some Valorant. First time in forever for me. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. And big thanks as well to our sponsor, Logitech, for helping make this show all possible. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow night for some more Valorant action.